Hey, everyone, Alex here back again with another big update. And before we get into it, let me pause real quick because I see so many of you watching my videos every single day, but still not subscribed, so hit that subscribe button right now. It only takes a second and it helps me out more than you know. Plus, you will never miss breaking news about the Kansas City Chiefs and all the major NFL updates that matter now. Let's dive straight into the huge story that just dropped, and believe me, this one is going to shake things up across the league. So here's the news: Terry McLaurin just signed a monster extension worth $96 million. Yes, you heard that, right? $96 million. And you already know this deal is going to send ripples, not just through Washington, where he plays, but through the entire NFL, including how things eventually connect back to the Kansas City Chiefs. And we are going to break all of that down today. But first, let's just pause and think about what this means. Terry McLaurin has been one of the most underrated wide receivers in the NFL. For years, he has quietly put up big numbers, even though Washington has had constant quarterback changes and offensive struggles. And now he finally gets the respect and security he deserves. But here's where it gets really interesting. When you look at this extension, you can see exactly how the wide receiver market is exploding. And if you are a Chiefs fan like me, you know this connects back to our own wide receiver room, because every time a player like McLaurin signs a massive deal, it pushes the value of other receivers higher, which impacts future signings, trades, and cap space for teams like Kansas City. So it is not just Washington celebrating right now. Every GM and head coach around the league is looking at this deal and calculating what it means for their own roster now. Before I go too deep, let me ask you this question. Chiefs Kingdom, do you think the Chiefs should consider going after another big-name wide receiver next season to pair with Rashee Rice and give Patrick Mahomes another weapon? Or should we keep building with the young core we already have? Let me know down in the comments, because this is going to be a hot debate after news like this. So let's talk numbers. Terry McLaurin's deal is worth $96 million over 4 years, with over $50 million guaranteed. That is a huge payday, and it puts him right up there with some of the highest paid receivers in the game. And to be honest, he deserves it, because if you look at his production year after year, he is consistently over 1,000 yards despite playing with more than 10 different quarterbacks since entering the league. That is insane consistency. And it shows that he is not just a product of a good system. He is a true number one receiver who can make plays no matter who is throwing the football. And this is exactly why Washington had no choice but to lock him down, because losing McLaurin would have been a disaster for their offense, and their fan base loves him too. He is the kind of player you build around. But for us in Chiefs Kingdom, this story matters because it changes the way the market values players. And remember, not long ago, Kansas City had to trade away Tyreek Hill because the market got too expensive. Now, seeing deals like this only proves how fast wide receiver contracts are rising and how careful the Chiefs have to be when it comes to planning long-term around the salary cap. So let's break this down from a Chiefs perspective. Right now, the Chiefs are trying to repeat as champions and build a dynasty around Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. But Kelce is not going to play forever, and wide receiver is going to become even more important in the offense as we look ahead to the future. If players like McLaurin are now getting close to $100 million contracts, what happens when younger stars like Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, or even our own guys like Rashee Rice start getting into that conversation? It is a reminder that Kansas City has to be smart and always stay one step ahead in roster building. But let's bring it back to Terry McLaurin for a second, because I want to highlight something about him that often gets overlooked. He is not just a great player on the field, he is also one of the best leaders. In the locker room, his teammates love him, his work ethic is second to none, and he sets the tone for his team. That is the kind of guy you want to reward with a big contract, and that is why Washington did not hesitate to sign him long-term. And honestly, this is the type of leadership that every team, including the Chiefs, value when they are building a championship culture. And you know what this makes me think about Kansas City's own locker room. We already have one of the best leaders in Mahomes, and, of course, Kelce is right there too. But having a strong group of receivers who can grow into that leadership role is going to be huge for us moving forward, because no matter how good Mahomes is, he needs reliable guys around him, and contracts like Mclaurin's show how much value the league is placing on wideouts. Now here's where things get even juicier. The insiders who reported this deal are saying that Washington wanted to make sure Mclaurin did not even test the open market, because if he had, multiple teams would have been lining up with big offers. And you better believe that teams like the Chiefs would have at least considered the possibility of making a move for him if he was available. So, in a way, this deal closed the door on what could have been a wild free agency sweepstakes. And again, it shows how important star receivers are becoming. In today's NFL, let's also not forget about timing. The Chiefs are constantly looking at the future, not just this season. And when we see deals like this, it gives us clues about what might be coming down the road. Think about this: in just a couple of years, the Chiefs are going to have to make some tough financial decisions about who to pay and who to let go, because the salary cap is not unlimited. And if the market keeps rising like this, then it is going to be harder and harder to keep everyone together. That means finding young talent in the draft and developing them is even more critical for Kansas City. But you know what I find most exciting about this story? It is how it connects fans around the league. When a guy like Terry McLaurin gets rewarded for his hard work, every fan can respect that no matter what team you cheer for, and it makes you appreciate the talent we get to watch every Sunday. And if you are a Chiefs fan, it should make you even more thankful that we already have the best quarterback in the game. Because as long as we have Mahomes, we will always have a chance to compete, no matter how crazy the market gets. So, Chiefs Kingdom, here's the big question again. Would you want Kansas City to go all in for another star receiver like Mclaurin in the future? Or do you think the smarter move is to stick with our young guys and keep building through the draft? I want to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below and let's talk about it, because this is the kind of debate that really matters for the future of the Chiefs. Now, before I wrap this video up, let me give you a quick recap. Terry McLaurin signs a $96 million extension with Washington, locking him in long-term, and proving once again that the wide receiver market is absolutely exploding. This deal impacts every single team in the NFL, including the Chiefs, because it sets the bar higher for future contracts and makes roster building more challenging. But at the same time, it gives us an inside look at how much value the league is placing on wide receivers, and reminds us that Kansas City has to keep finding new ways to stay competitive. And let me say this to close out the video: I love stories like this because they show the business side of football, but also the human side. Terry McLaurin worked for years to get to this point, and now he is rewarded in a massive way. And as Chiefs fans, we can only hope that our own players who grind every day will also get rewarded and stick with us long term. That is what builds dynasties. That is what keeps winning alive. So, Chiefs Kingdom, thank you for watching today's update. If you made it this far, you are a real one, and I appreciate you more than you know. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you have not already, because I have a lot more updates coming your way, not just about the Chiefs, but about every major move across the NFL. And trust me, you do not want to miss what is coming next. This season is going to be wild, so stay locked in with me, right here on the channel. My name is Alex, and I will see you in the next video.